Hey guys, in this video we're going to be looking at HubFit's recipe books. A recipe book is an on-demand way for you to share your meals. I'm going to show you how it works from the coach side and then how clients can view the recipe books on the client's app. To create a recipe, you need to have the meals in your meal library and then you can add the meals into different recipe books. So I will quickly show you that over here you have your nutrition in the library section and you have the meals library here. This is your own meal library. Any meals that you create in here, you can add them into a recipe book. I'm going to head back to the recipe books section. So this is where you have your recipe books. Right now I have two recipe books. Here I can see how many recipes in each recipe book and how many clients have access to this recipe book. To create a recipe book, you can use this button. Here you'll see the option to add a name and a description, and you can add a cover photo using this. You can add your own cover photo or you can use a cover photo from HubFit's library. I'm going to go ahead and click on this quick start recipes. So this is what the recipe book builder looks like from a coach side. Over here you'll see you have the preview on the right side, and this is what it would look like on the client's app. Over here you have the recipes split into sections. So for example, we have a quick breakfast section. Over here we have a main course section. You have the option to toggle sections to make the viewing easier. I'll go ahead and open that. So to add a recipe in a section, you will see this option, and to modify the layout of a section, you can use this option here. So for example, at the moment we have the carousel option, and you can see that we have a carousel here, and the carousel is a horizontal way to view the meals. Over here you have a list. So this is what a list would look like. Over here you have a card layout. This is a list of cards going down, and then you have a grid layout. So for example, here you can see what the grid would look like. Now what's very nice is that you can mix and match these layouts. So here for example, we have a carousel in this section, and then we have a list in this section, and at the bottom here in the snacks we have a grid. Next you have this drop down option for each section. Here you can reorder the meals inside a section. So for example, if I reorder, I can move around the meals and save the order. Over here you can edit the recipe book. So if you want to edit the name or the description or the cover photo, you can do that from here. You can also reorder the section using this button. So if I click on this, we can move the sections around. To give a client access to a recipe book, you can do that through the manage access. So if I click on this, you will see we currently have one client that has access to this recipe. To give this client access, I can just click on their name and now they have access to this recipe book. And here you can add a section. So for example, I'll add a section, dinner, create this section, and if I scroll to the bottom, you will see we have this section over here. I can add a recipe by clicking add recipe. And here we have our meal library. I can select a recipe, and just like that, it's been added to this section. So that is everything when it comes to creating a recipe book from the coach side. I'm now going to switch over to the client app to show you how this looks like on the client side. So I am now in the client app, logged in as a client. I am in the nutrition tab and we are in the recipe books section here. You'll see we have two recipe books. Here you can see the amount of recipes in the recipe book, the name, and you have a description here. So if I click on the description, for example, you'll see we have a nice description for the recipe book. Let's go ahead and click on a recipe book. You'll see here we have the recipe book with all the meals we've added and all the different layouts that we've added. So we have a grid at the bottom, we have a list at the middle, and then we have a carousel at the top. We can click on any of these meals to view it. So for example, you can see here we have the full meal, we have the macros, the ingredients, the instructions, and the client can also log this meal directly into their nutrition tracker. So if I click on this, for example, and let's say we want to log this into our snacks, I can do log meal, and that's now logged into our nutrition tracker. There's a separate video on HubFit's nutrition tracker, so feel free to give that a watch if you want to see how that works. I can quickly show you what we just logged. You can see here we added that meal to our snacks section, and it added the ingredients. So that is everything with HubFit's recipe books. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask in the comments below.